This is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Macy Marie. Well, if you spent any time outside today, you certainly know it was hot. That sun shining super bright, and that looks to continue as we head into the weekend. So let's go ahead and check in with Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel for those details. Paige, what are some of the things we need to look forward to this weekend?
Well, honestly, you're going to be looking forward to the rain because that's what's going to cool you off as we head into your Sunday. But really, we got to get through tomorrow, which is still going to be very much on the hot and humid side. But for now, it's still on the hot and humid side. We're into the upper 70s to lower 80s out there, but it's those dew points. Check it out. Into those mid to upper 70s. So that is what's actually making it feel a lot warmer outside than it actually is. It's been really the story for the day, and that's going to be the story as we head into tomorrow as well. So we're even still feeling like those mid to upper 80s for some. Other spots are starting to cool off just a little bit, but I know I was out here in Hazard just a couple hours ago, and it still felt absolutely miserable outside. So we do have that heat advisory. Remember, that's still in effect. That runs until 8 p.m. on your Saturday. We also have that excessive heat warning for just a few of our counties, and that also goes into parts of central and western Kentucky. That also runs until 8 p.m. on your Saturday. So we'll see those highs in the lower 90s tomorrow, but feeling close to 100. You'll notice we'll start to cool down, but that's because a cold front moves through, and that's when those rain chances move through as well. And yes, 70s are on the way. Just got to get through tomorrow. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes. Macy.
All right, thank you, Paige. A celebration of life. The Hazard community gathered together today to remember Marlena Holland-Hurt, who was found murdered in Bobby Davis Park early Sunday morning. The family says their final goodbyes at her funeral this afternoon and a candlelight vigil this evening. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked to those who knew her all of her life.
A woman who was loved in her community.
Always had a smile on her face and always just happy, and that's a good way to be able to remember somebody.
Family and friends of Marlena Holland-Hurt gathered to say goodbye Friday afternoon. The funeral was held at Consolidated Baptist Church, the church she was raised in and baptized in, and she was always willing to help.
I've witnessed her on many occasions being willing to give all that she had to others that she didn't even know. So she had a servant's heart.
Sheriff and Pastor Joe Engel helped officiate Marlena's funeral, and he remembers her as a child.
Being a police officer in the city for the last 2 decades, I kind of watched her grow up and grew up together, and many times I would see them walking up and down the street and just be able to interact with them.
And Friday night, the community came together to remember her in the place she was killed.
And I don't want anyone to forget her. I don't want Bobby Davis Park to be remembered as the place where she was murdered. I want it to be remembered as the place where we met and remembered her and come together and took our community back.
But nothing can take away the pain.
It's not going to be the same, but I know that she's in my heart and she'll always be in my heart.
And they will always remember her smile. In Perry County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Anthony Lewis, who was charged with killing Marlena Holland-Hurt, will appear in court next Tuesday. He faces a murder charge. A Harlan County man who has been missing since December was identified this morning as the man whose body police found this week. Police identified this man as Tim Middleton, who families say they've been recently searching for the last 7 months. Middleton's daughters say they were hoping to find their dad, but they're glad they can finally start to have some closure.
I'm just glad that we can actually, with the closure that we've got, that we have it, and that we can, give him some respect and put him to rest finally.
Police say they do not know the cause of death at this time. Day one of the special session is in the books. Lawmakers gathered in Frankfort this morning, and their goal is to pass a pension relief bill. The bill specifically would help regional universities and quasi-government agencies. Now, without relief, their pension cost will soar.
The legislature's job is to legislate. So let's come in here and let's actually have solutions to the pension problem offered by all sides instead of some ideological decision by the governor.
Lawmakers will be back at the Capitol tomorrow. Leaders say they expect to have a bill ready for the governor to sign on Wednesday. She was known for her generosity, her derby parties, and her love of horse racing. Lexington socialite Lou Whitney died today at age 93 after a long illness. As Victor Puente reports, a lot of people have found memories of the so-called Queen of Saratoga.
Even though she was often the center of attention, those who know Lou Whitney say she went out of her way to put others first.
Miss Whitney was a big personality. She was delightful to be around. She had a great sense of humor, and when you were with her, she made you feel like that you were the important person that she was with at that moment.
Whitney was well known in the horse racing world and for her Derby Eve parties, but it was her charity work that made the biggest impression on many Kentuckians.
Such an example of the power of one person.
For years, she would co-host the Cardinal Hill Telethon on WKYT, helping raise money and personally donating hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And in the early years, from what I understand, when the telethon would go throughout more than a 24-hour period, I understand that she was here around the clock.
Not only did Lou Whitney and her husband help people pay for physical rehabilitation, they donated enough money. They were able to build a new stroke unit here at the hospital.
She wanted the stroke unit to be particularly well done.
Because of her efforts, people who couldn't afford care received it. And even though she's gone, those good works will continue.
And that benefit will go on for generations to come, no doubt.
Victor Puente, WYMT Mountain News.
Whitney is survived by her husband, John Hendrickson. Pike County is combating the heat this weekend with a community effort. Today and tomorrow, free water is being offered to people by the East Kentucky Dream Center, while free water is being offered to animals by Johnson Home and Garden. Now, both entities say they're trying to make sure the community is taken care of during the heat wave. The county is also working to keep people safe. 8 cooling centers have been designated in Pike County to allow people to stay cool as the temperatures rise.
It can put a hardship on people that's working outside, or even senior citizens and others that may not have any air conditioning. It'll be a place where they can go and get a break and cool down.
Cooling centers open at 1 p.m. tomorrow in each senior citizen center across the county, except for Shelby Valley. Anyone in the Shelby Valley area will use the Shelby Valley Fire Department as their cooling station. The Laurel County Health Department was nationally awarded earlier this month, and this morning they celebrated the win. The National Association of County and City Health Officials awarded the Laurel County Health Department the Local Health Department of the Year for health departments under 100,000 community members. Now, this award was given to the health department in Orlando, Florida on July 10th, but staff, state, city, and county officials celebrated the award today with a luncheon. This year's theme for the conference was improving the nation's health through private and public partnerships.
I think it's demonstrating the importance of strong partnerships. Right now, health departments have done a lot of good things in Kentucky and throughout the state, but we're doing it with limited resources in terms of funding and personnel.
Executive Director Mark Hensley says the health department went against around 3,000 other departments nationwide for that award. It was a special day for kids at the Challenger Learning Center in Hazard. The center was celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 lunar landing. Kids had the chance to build and launch their own rockets. Jackie Cottle, Challenger Learning Center's STEM specialist, says this special day allows kids to utilize different skill sets in a unique way.
The students here at Challenger will use lots of skills today. They'll have presentation skills, communication skills, eye-hand coordination. They have to analyze, make decisions about how they want to complete each station that's related to the moon.
The students at Challenger also had the opportunity to explore the lunar surface through apps and had the chance to play with some moon rocks. Students and teachers are enjoying the last few weeks before summer ends and we head back to school, but parents of new students tend to become nervous. School officials say along with a backpack, students should have pencils, crayons, glue, and some safety scissors. They do ask for children to at least know their first and last name, how to count to 20, and their ABCs.
They need to know how to count probably to 20. Some of their ABCs, they'll learn a lot of that in kindergarten, but there's a lot of things that they do need to know before they start.
If you want more info on what your child should know or bring, you can contact your local school for their supply list. And now check out this video. That's a black bear snooping around someone's trash over in Harlan County. Nina Gilman sent this to us on Facebook. She says she videoed this at Maston Drive over in Cumberland, and you can see this little guy is digging through the trash and standing on his hind legs to check his surroundings and see what's going out there. Still to come at 11, how the moon landing helped Velcro become an everyday product in America.
And we have one more day of that hot weather before a cold front arrives. I'll break down that full forecast next.